Hello and welcome to Bonsai with Tom. Today we're going to do something a little different. I haven't really done an accent plant on the channel, and I came across this air plant. It's called a golden air plant, so it's kind of yellow. And I mean, I've always found these kind of fascinating. They have just a beautiful bush-like appearance, and they're survivors. Um, and I always thought they would make a really cool accent plant, maybe with some moss or something. So I want to try to take off the price tag here, and we'll see what we're going to do with this. Price tag's really on there. I don't want to damage the plant. You can see it was pretty reasonably priced. Um, and hang on for after this video. It's probably going to be a short video, so I'm going to do some updates and then also show you a few things about Seattle that I really like. One of the viewers recently commented that they'd like to see some of what Seattle's like. And so there's a park that I really like to go to near the waterfront and a place that I like to shop. And so I'll show you that. I'm just going to nip off this area I damaged here. I don't know too much about these. My wife's had a few of them in the past, one that bloomed for years before it finally died. And I think I'm going to put it in this glass container. It's a bit of a tight fit, but I think it'll look really awesome in there. And just going to put some black lava down to sort of keep it, uh, give it something to sit on. And then also, some water can kind of be under it without touching it. I did ask about when I got it, like these, you basically can sort of lightly spritz them daily, or you can really kind of douse them say once a week and then shake them out. They're definitely prone to rot, so you definitely don't want sort of the core of it to stay wet because that will rot it out. And that's about it. They don't require fertilizer or anything. And I think this one's just about done. I don't know what else to do there. I may change the angle of it, and I kind of like this glass container. I honestly don't remember where I got it. But we'll take a quick look at it. It's really cool. It has sort of a terrarium look to it. I'm pretty sure they like reasonably bright indirect light. Kind of like the twine to sort of tie it on to. I'll probably just use I don't know what this knot's called. Basically, do it like this, and then cinch it on, and it'll pretty much stay. You can imagine that was tied onto something there. It'll stay anywhere. Although this is kind of brittle, but we'll give it a whirl. I think it'll hold this. Show that knot one more time. I cannot remember what it's called. If anyone knows, please let me know. I also have some wire here, so maybe I'll just snip off a little section of that and create just a little hook here to sort of attach this to. I think I'm going to hang it on my indoor bonsai bench because at least currently, I have a lot of trees in there, waiting for spring to go outside, and I could just hang it up there, and I think it'll be, like I said, a really nice accent plant, and it's kind of swinging around. Yeah, I think this will work. And you can get these air plants, any kind of a specialty store. In fact, I've seen them just about. Oh, I don't know. I mean, I've even seen them in grocery stores. I got this one at a really nice place, where I mean, they always have really just gonna spritz it a little bit, and you can see this lava hopefully is going to hold enough moisture to keep kind of humidity around it inside this glass ball, but not directly wet. And so let me hang it up here, and then I will admire it, how good it looks. Kind of a accent plant version of a victory lap, and there we go. I think this will be quite nice. It's kind of hanging, here where I can take a look at it. It doesn't have a whole lot of room to grow, but I don't think these grow much at all. They do flower, at least I'm pretty sure that they do. The only other one I've known flowers, and not really a bonsai, but you can sort of see the appeal. It's kind of a plant in a container that's quite charming. And I haven't really used glass like this before, but I really like it. I think it'll, and Mabel's admiring it as well. She seems to be quite quite transfixed on it here. So I don't know. Hopefully that's not going to be a problem. But she's never really damaged stuff in the past, so I can't imagine. Yeah, take a look at it from a few different angles here. Now that it's kind of dried off a bit. Yeah, I think I'm really going to enjoy this. And when I move the trees outside, I will go ahead and I don't know, hang it in the living room or something. And so the next thing I want to show are some updates. I recently did a video on spider plants where I kind of was trying to make bonsai out of them and give them some air roots. And I just wanted to give you an update on that because they were really unhealthy looking, which is one of the reasons why I did some work on them. And you can see the roots are looking great and the plant is looking robust. And this one is now growing a baby. You can see kind of that one stem where it's just kind of starting out now. And what happens is you get kind of this long shoot that sort of goes way out, and then it will get flowers on it. This one's sticking up right here. Um, Beautiful white flowers, and then you'll have a baby plant form where the flowers were. And I created several of these. I've got, let's see, another one in this glass pot. I guess this is the glass pot uh, Bonsai with Tom edition. Trying to get this thing. Here it is. This one is, it's definitely coming along. I really like the roots on this, but you can see already they've kind of thickened up a bit from before. And I'll put a link to the video where I created this. You've got some browning on the edges of the leaves, and you can just kind of cut those off like this diagonally, and I found that they don't continue to brown. And I usually cut the bent leaves off like that one there, but this one is, I wanted to get a few more leaves before I do that. But yeah, it looks like there's a little shoot. No, it's not. It's just a leaf. I noticed on the top. I thought maybe that was another baby. But yeah, you can see the color's really good, and this one is starting to cook with gas. And yeah, that looks a lot better. I created several of these in these tiny yellow pots. They almost look like pineapple, and I'll show you that. I gave one to a friend, and I don't know if it's he has more of a green thumb or he talks to him or what, but that thing shot up like a rocket, and he would send me these pictures of these beautiful flowers and the babies coming out, and it's just like super healthy. But you can see this one's well on its way. It's starting to grow, and so it'll get there. It's just a little behind its sibling, but yeah, these spider plants are kind of fun to work with, and I just wanted to give you a quick update on that, and maybe a couple other jades that I'm looking at here. I had a sort of a semi-cascade jade with a uh, I guess you'd call it a sacrifice tree that I'm growing on the side, and I pruned it back pretty hard, and I just want to show you it has bounced back really well. You can see, and this is all indoor growth here. I still have these trees indoors where we kind of wired this, and I'll put a link to this video where I did all this work. But, you can see in a short period, you get a lot more ramification and growth and change in direction, and it just looks more convincing. It's more dense, and so that is kind of the results you get. And even I think this is 2 or 3 weeks, probably 3 weeks. Um, and I'll put a link to the video. Like I said, you can check that out. But it's coming along, and it's recovered pretty quickly and looks good. And yeah, so we'll just keep growing this one. I have another larger plant. Definitely needs a prune. This is sort of a mother plant of many of my Gollum Jade, that whole forest, which I've shown you in the past, that I created from this, my Gollum Jade forest, and also even a few larger Gollum Jades, and I've given some away. But it's definitely in need for a further prune. This one I kind of let really go wild and then cut it back. And so I usually get some pretty good sized cuttings off of it just because I'm just letting it sort of grow. But I think it's time to really kind of force it to grow out more horizontally. So I'll be doing that on the next pruning to really kind of get it out like the classic baobab style. And I wanted to show you, I got a new pot. Usually I save up and do a huge pot video, but I've been kind of a sucker for these dragon pots lately. And I saw this one and I just really liked the detail. I will eventually make my own uh, dragon pot, but I'm still looking for inspiration. I haven't decided. I kind of like this where it's really a pot with just the dragon kind of, etching on it, I guess you'd say. And this is a Vietnamese pot, and it has just a lot of interesting detail. I sort of like, well, the dragon, and then it has sort of this basket thing and on the backside, which is kind of interesting. I see a lot of that with these dragon pots, and if anyone knows why they do that, it'd be very interesting. It has a nice claw there. There's the sort of basket part, and the edge here kind of reminds me of the rim looks like bamboo. And yeah, it's just a charming pot. When I saw it, I really was kind of drawn to it. And you can tell the inside it's kind of like etched as well, which I sort of like. I think it helps the roots to really grab onto the pot. But yeah, like I said, if anyone knows the history of this stuff with the basket on the backside here, and I'll show it to you again. The feet are also cool too. I don't know if I mentioned that. Let me know because I find it kind of a odd combination, but there must be some kind of reason for it, and so I'm very curious. Yeah, what that might be, but yeah, I think I've got a few of these pots now, and so I'm slowly getting a dragon pot collection, although I don't think I've planted. I think I have one that I've planted stuff in. And on the way out of the video, I'll just show you a few. This is one of my favorite parks. It's just north of Seattle's new Waterfront Park, and I'll put a link to that. Uh, and this is the Olympic Sculpture Park, and it's part of the Seattle Art Museum, and they have just these amazing sculptures. Here's sort of a huge kind of life-size metal tree, and I used to work in that odd-shaped building in the background there. Um, and there's a living log, and it's right next to the water, and I love it. And one of my other areas to stick with the dragon theme that I love is the Chinatown area. And they have these dragon sculptures all around town and amazing restaurants. It's really a cool area. You should visit if you go to Seattle. I love to eat there. And there's a store called Wajimaya that's kind of just south of Pioneer Square, just south of the city, and you can get all kinds of cool stuff like this. Like you can get these little sake cups and drill a hole and plant in them. And it was Chinese New Year when I was there recently, and so I'll show you a picture of that. But maybe I'll do more of this if people like it. Let me know. These are just some things in Seattle that I really love as part of the city. And with that, I want to thank you for spending time with me, kind of a short video, and I look forward to seeing you all again next week. Have a great week.